deze tonen. Freude! Freude!
Freude, schöne Götterfunken, Zauber aus Elysium. Wir betreten feuertrunken, himmlische dein Heiligtum. Deine Zauber wilden Lieder macht die Mode streng mit alle Menschen werden Brüder, wo dein sanfter Flügel weilt.
Eine Zauberliebe, Liebe, Zauberliebe, in den Traum. Alle Menschen werden Frieden. Alright, sorry to delay, but this video is going to be in English, and the second video is going to be in Arabic. Greetings to all of you, Hassan al-Badr with you, and atheist, anti-theist, whatever. Let's see here. This video is called Quantum Light Coherence, simply explained in Quran. There is no clash, so let's take a listen.
Hi. There are many different types of maps in the world. Most people are familiar with the typical road map, you know, the one that helped you find where you were going back in the day before GPS and Google Maps or even MapQuest. Remember those? Few of us know that there are also political maps, economic maps, climate maps, and even a map depicting every country England has ever invaded. Oh yes, and spoiler alert, there were a lot of them. But did you know that NASA has something called fluorescence maps, which measure chlorophyll fluorescence light and offers a new view of the world's land plants? These maps are based on data collected from the spectrometer aboard a Japanese satellite and are the first to focus on land vegetation and to cover the entire globe. Chlorophyll fluorescence offers a more direct window into the inner workings of the photosynthetic machinery of plants from space. With chlorophyll fluorescence, we should be able to tell immediately if plants are under environmental stress before outward signs of browning or yellowing of leaves become visible. So said Elizabeth Middleton, a NASA Goddard-based biologist and a member of the team that created the maps. Joanna Joyner of the NASA Goddard Space Flight Center says humans can't see this light. Our eyes just aren't that sensitive. To see the light that's emitted from plants all over the world, we have to use scientific instruments that are placed on satellites. The quantum theory of quantum physics tells us about the coherence of light and proposes a dual nature of light, meaning that light can behave simultaneously as particles or waves. Light gives plants the energy they need to grow, but what happens if plants receive too much light? The answer is they glow. This neon glow is actually happening around us all the time, and it's the result of a cellular process where light from the sun is transformed and released as fluorescent light in a phenomenon called chlorophyll fluorescence. The light exits the plant cell and is released into the atmosphere, which is why NASA stated that their satellite instruments have given climate researchers an unexpected global view from space of a fluorescent glow from land chlorophyll. But would you believe me if I told you that that bottle of olive oil on your kitchen counter also gives off a fluorescent glow that can be seen in space in much the same way as planet Earth glows? Or would you maybe start to question my IQ? It's not bad, by the way. It's true, folks. Olive oil, that rich substance we love to drizzle on our pasta or douse our salads with, emits a coherent light that makes it glow by fluorescence in the same way as our planet glows in space. Olive oil is unique among the majority of oils in that it is a product of a fruit rather than a seed. As such, it has a different constitution and naturally contains the green-coloured plant pigment chlorophyll, which is fluorescent. Though it may appear dull under regular light, hit a clear glass of olive oil with a green laser and the oil will glow red. And it's not just lasers that will get the olive oil to fluoresce, ultraviolet lamps will do the trick too and are accepted as an official method for the identification of the purity and grade of olive oil, according to the US Bureau of Standards. But before the existence of these specialised instruments that detect the fluorescent light emitted by plants on planet Earth, from satellites in space, or the discovery of the quantum theory that explains how it all works, the Quran actually addressed this issue in a fascinating verse. In verse 35 of chapter 24, the Quran says, "Allah God is the light of the heavens and the earth. The parable of his light is like a niche pillar. In it is a lamp. The lamp is in a glass. The glass is like a brilliant planet lit from an olive tree.
It doesn't work.
Neither of the east,
although this is a laser.
Neither this tree gets sun rays only in the morning, nor of the west."
But I have to say, she mentioned green laser. I have a red laser, so maybe it's different. But this is olive oil, by the way. But it doesn't show. It doesn't glow, basically. All right, experimental. You know, just try it. You never know. It might work. If you have a green laser, try to beam a green laser against the olive oil, and let's see if the beam of the light amplified, okay, is gonna be visible in the olive oil.
I.e., nor does it get sun rays only in the afternoon, but it is exposed to the sun all day long. Its olive oil would almost glow forth of itself, though no fire touched it, light upon light.
All right, so she mentioned a verse from chapter 24, that's Surah An-Nur, and the verse is number 35, which says, "Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. The parable of his light is as a pillar of which is a lamp. The lamp is in a glass, and the glass is like a brilliant planet lit from a blessed olive tree, neither eastern nor western, the olive oil whereof would almost glow forth through fire toucheth not light upon light." All right, I don't know if this translation is accurate, so I'm gonna go to the Sahih International, and let's see if you, Miss Claire Forestier, have manipulated the translation again and again. So let's go to Surah An-Nur. By the way, Surah An-Nur has some beautiful verses too, before that verse. Like one of the verses I have to show you and to read it to you guys is قل للمؤمنين يغضوا من أبصارهم ويحفظوا فروجهم ذلك أزكى لهم إن الله خبير بما يصنعون. And that's really funny. فروجهم, they translate it as private parts, although it means literally the real meaning of the private parts, like the real literal word of the private parts. وقل للمؤمنات يغضضن من أبصارهن ويحفظن فروجهن ولا يبدين زينتهن إلا ما ظهر منها وليضربن بخمرهن. So and tell the believing women to reduce some of their vision and guard their private parts. It's actually not private parts, really. It's mentioned literally vaginas, to guard their vaginas, okay? To guard their punanis, okay? Punani, like the Jamaicans, you know? To guard their punanis, really. It's mentioned in the Quran, literally. But the verse number 32 is really amazing. The verse 32 of chapter 24, Surah An-Nur, Al-Ayah Al-Thaniya Wal-Thalathin, verse 32. Let's read it. وانكحوا الأئمة منكم والصالحين من عبادكم وإمائكم أن يكونوا فقراء يغنيهم الله من فضله والله واسع عليم. And marry the unmarried among you, the righteous among you, male slaves and female slaves. If they should be poor, Allah will enrich them from His bounty, and Allah is all encompassing and knowing. Yeah, Islam freed slavery. Yeah, indeed, it freed it. So we come to the real verse of that miraculous claim. الله نور السماوات والأرض مثل نوره كمشكاة فيها مصباح والمصباح في زجاجة الزجاجة كأنها كوكب دري يوقد من شجرة مباركة زيتونة لا شرقية ولا غربية يكاد زيتها يضيء ولو لم تمسه نور على نور يهدي الله لنوره ومن يشاء ويضرب الله الأمثال للناس والله بكل شيء عليم. So it's obviously that God is given an example. يضرب مثل, so it's given an example. It's like his light is like the light of an oil lamp, basically. And the translation of this verse: Allah is the light of the heavens and earth. The example of his light is like a niche within a which in a lamp. The lamp is within a glass, and the glass as if it were pearly white star lit from oil of a blessed olive tree, neither the cast nor the west, neither of the east nor the west, whose oil would almost glow even if untouched by fire. Light upon light, Allah guides to his light whom he wills, and Allah presents examples for the people, and Allah is knowing of all things. That's really very much different from your translation, Miss Claire. Your translation is Allah is the light of the heavens and earth, and the parable of his light is as a pillar. There is no pillar mentioned in Sahih International. That's the translation from Saudi Arabia itself, from Mecca itself. And you change their translation. You know, that's a blasphemy in Islam, changing the word of God. You know, but anyway. And the lamp is a glass of glass. The glass is like a brilliant planet. There it says a star in Sahih International, and here by yours it says a planet. Alright, it's a blessed from olive tree, neither eastern nor western. That's correct. The olive is whereof would almost glow forth through fire, touch it not. Light upon light. Okay, the rest is, but there is no pillar, and there is no planet, and there is no, anyway.
The verse likens the glow of the planet with the glow of the oil derived from olives, as both shine in the same way by fluorescence. Both are also dependent on the same physical phenomenon fueled by quantum physics.
No, the verse doesn't describe the glow of a planet like it's a glow of the olive oil. The verse exactly explains when there is a lamp behind it and it glows, okay? It explains that, okay? It's like a star, all right? It explains this, basically. We should go to the most simplified explanation of the Quran. We shouldn't really Occam's razor, you know? Occam's razor. When you use an extra explanation that doesn't exist, simply, you just push it through, you shove it through just to make the miraculous claim, that's illogical, really.
Both emit a coherent light. Coherence is one of the most important concepts in quantum physics and is strongly related to the ability of light to exhibit interference effects. A light field is called coherent, like the light from lasers, when there is a fixed phase relationship between the electric field values at different locations or at different times. Coherent light waves are waves with a constant phase difference. They will have the same frequency and wavelength. When two waves meet, they will interfere and superpose. This is called the quantum principle of superposition, and it's at the heart of quantum mechanics. If you look in the dictionary, the word superposition technically means one upon another. So when God says light upon light in the verse I mentioned just now, he's referring to superposition of light waves, one upon another. The fact that the Quran states that olive oil glows is in and of itself a miracle, as lasers and ultraviolet lamps now used to detect such a glow.
No, Quran mentions olive oil glows because they were using olive oil lamps. And olive oil lamps has been used really centuries before the Quran. Even the Jews, in their Torah, is mentioned that they're using olive oil lamps. You know the Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah. You know the Hanukkah, the miracle of the Hanukkah is about seven oil lamps. Okay, seriously. I mean, come on. It's mentioned before the Quran. It was very common since the Babylonians, but the Babylonians didn't use olive oil. They used the fat of animals or the wax. Even the Greeks used the oil lamps, but also different oils, not the real olive oil. But the Jews were also using olive oil. really. And it's mentioned in the Torah, mentioned in the Old Testament in multiple occasions, really. And the verse is literally explaining the glow of an oil lamp. Simply put, it's not about laser going through the oil and everything and light upon light. You compare light upon light with the light coherence of quantum mechanics. Come on, really.
Exist back then in any way, shape or form. Although planet is defined as a body that orbits a star, in our case the sun, and produces no light of its own, and although olive oil is dull under regular light, not only did the Quran inform us that they both glow on their own, but the Quran also asserts that they glow in a similar manner. What's more, the Quran refers to it as light upon light, long before the existence of the quantum theory of coherence, which now confirms the superposition of light waves. So the question remains, how could the Quran have known to use such a comprehensive analogy 1400 years ago? Was the Prophet Muhammad a quantum physicist? The answer could only be that the Prophet Muhammad had received divine revelation from God, the creator and originator of the universe.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
All right. Really, I have to do it, really. By the way, the verse mentioned, let's read the verse again. Allah nur as-samawati wal ard. Allah is the light of heavens and earth. So in that sense, if we take this verse literally, then that means Allah is light. Allah is particle wave-like photons. Allah is photons, basically. So that means we can detect Allah. That means Allah is not nothing like him. ليس كمثله شيء. Because here is mentioned clearly, Allah nur as-samawat wal ard. Allah is light. Alright? So I guess at night we cannot see Allah because the light goes away from the sun. And that means Allah didn't exist in the universe the first 100 million years, 150 million years, at least. After the Big Bang, Allah didn't exist because there was no light, simply. Literally, there was no light. And then the stars formed, then there was light. So, I mean, and you say that, you say, وَلَوْ لَمْ تَمِسَّهُ نَارٌ نُورٌ عَلَى نُورٌ يَهْدِي اللَّهُ لِنُورِهِ. So, that the literal translation in English, and Allah guides His light whom He wills, whose oil would almost glow even if it's untouched by fire, light upon light. And you compare the light upon light with the light coherence of quantum mechanics. Actually, that's also wrong, because light coherence is light amplified. It's laser basically, laser. All right, okay, laser. The pen, the laser pen, is actually its initials. It's in how to say, an acronym. Okay, it's light amplified subatomic radiation. Okay, that's laser. LASER, light amplified subatomic radiation. Okay, so it's subatomic particles radiates تشع. Okay, radiates, and it's amplified, it's condensed. تمركزت, ركزناها, ضغطناها. Okay, and that's the laser basically. Okay, so what got this to do with light upon light? How did you jump from this meaning to light upon light, meaning the laser, the light coherence of laser, and etc., etc., and the light coherence of plants, and etc., and the olive oil? I mean, come on, how did you, like, this is so far-fetched, and this is what, it's also a logical fallacy. It's called a fallacy of bloated claims, of extra bloated claims, that you take something simple and it means something huge. Okay? So, for example, I tell you I discovered that 1 plus 1 equals 2. Okay? 1 plus 1 equals 2. And I tell you, because of that discovery, that led to the discovery of quantum physics, because they use the math and they use also 1 plus 1 equals 2. You see, that's bloated claim based on my simple claim, which is 1 plus 1 equals 2. Okay? Here, I denied the algebra, I denied the geometrics, I denied the engineering, I denied the wave function math, I denied really the percentage math, I denied the calculus, I denied all the favors of those to get me to the quantum mechanics. But I just said 1 plus 1 equals 2, that means I led to quantum mechanics. While I denied calculus, geometrics, trigonometrics, etc., the Pythagoras or the Sumerian triangle, the wave function. I denied all those, like I am the sole purposeful who create quantum mechanics. And that's basically a simple example of this fallacy, which is called the fallacy of bloated claims. That's really, so light upon light, it means light upon light, simply put. The Quran, after all, it's mentioned in the Quran, lisanun arabiyyun mubin. It's a clear Arabic tongue, okay? It's not a mysterious Arabic tongue that can give different explanations every now and then. It's a clear Arabic tongue, so we should take it as a clear Arabic tongue. Or we can deny this verse. We say this verse is bullshit. Like, you put yourself into trouble, really. When you claim scientific claims about the Quran, you put yourself in trouble, because that means literally that your Quran is not a clear Arabic tongue, simply. It's a mysterious Arabic tongue, and you can really explain it as you like. Hammal 50,000 wajh. Really, it carries 50,000 faces. Any face you like, you can put it on, really. Anyway, that's all. After this video, I'm going to do a video in Arabic. I hope I can find a video of Mr. Haytham Talat to have a laugh a bit, to end this evening with a laughter. I always enjoy debunking him and refuting him. And as usual, cheers, love and respect. Love you guys, and greetings to all of you, and kisses to you. See you.